All right, so today I'm going to make a quick video on a couple of things. Basically, I have some thoughts that I thought I would share with you guys. Um, as you guys should know, it's NFP this Friday. So what NFP usually means is that price-wise, it means that Monday, basically the whole first week of the month, we can expect lower probability conditions, more chop, and just less clear moves up and down, and just less clear price action overall, right? So when I made my my weekly market breakdown, that's definitely something that I annotated in big. Like, I'm expecting this week to be lower probability because if you think of how the markets work and big institutions and whatever, like the big players are not going to position themselves before non-farm payroll because that is going to be a key data and a key factor into their positioning of trades, right? Like, NFP is going to tell them if they're going to be bullish or more bearish, and so they will position themselves after the storm. It would be like, it's literally, this is the metaphor, right? Like, we have a massive storm coming, and you have two decisions. You can decide to buy your house before the storm, or you can decide to buy your house after the storm, knowing that the storm is going to make a shit ton of damage. So you can just buy your house, meaning take a trade after the storm has passed, after everything's clear, and that is when you're going to have the highest probabilities because the storm has passed, so you know that the house is going to be fine, right? I reckon that was a terrible metaphor, but anyways, these are the thoughts that I've written down today while I was in the trading session. I wrote them down because, yeah, basically I thought everything was low probability, right? So I feel like many traders, I'm in a trading group where we all trade the same strategy. So I feel like many traders today are being too focused on understanding the next move, treating it as if they have to take a trade today and determine the bias, right? So they have to. That's how I felt like they were thinking today. They don't. I personally have low conviction in longs and in shorts. It's NFP on Friday and the markets aren't looking clear. I'm just not getting that it's go time feeling I got on the other trades that I took that were winners. So I took one completely valid loss on Monday, which put me at minus 1.5% on phase 2, which I'm fine with because I've stuck to my plan every day since the 16th of May. I've stuck to my plan every day since the 16th of May, and that is basically the longest I've ever stuck to my plan. And this leads me to my next point, right? Recently, I really feel like I have more trust in my edge. And the only reason behind why I have more trust in my edge is because I have more data, right? I have more data that says if I stick to my plan, I'm going to make profits, or it's more likely for me to make profits or not. Last week, I ended the month with a 50% win rate and an average 2.7 R on winning trades, an average minus 1 R on losing trades. Which are profitable numbers. So if I can maintain that, every goal, every dream, every aspiration to become a profitable trader is met if I can maintain my last month's performance. And so this is the main thing that I want to talk about in this video, right? You can think you're undisciplined. You can think that you don't understand why you keep breaking your plan. Why do you keep taking these trades that are not in your plan when you told yourself you're going to stick to your plan? And I've been there and I've done that for like 6 months in a row. Literally, I make myself a plan. I'm sticking to the plan, and I would just break it all the time. And I had no idea why I was breaking it. I was like, I thought I'm disciplined. I should be sticking to my plan, but I wasn't. And the reason that is, at least for me, and probably going to be for you, is because you don't have the data that literally tells you that when you stick to your plan, you make profits. Again, you're breaking your plan because you don't have the data that says that when you stick to your plan, you make profits, right? And that could be because your strategy doesn't work, and you need to refine certain things. I always use the metaphor of sculpting when I talk about trading, right? So you have this like massive piece of clay in the beginning, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a perfect Greek sculpture or whatever, like a perfect physique. And what that takes is it's lots of chipping. Right? Chip away, and eventually you start seeing the figure of the sculpture, and then you get into the refinements, and at the end you have this perfect sculpture. It's the same thing with trading, and you just have to chip away. And that's basically been my goal, right, every single day since I've gotten into trading. I'm just trying to take a bit of clay off of that big piece of clay to get my sculpture off today. And recently it's been absolutely insane. I feel like I have been taking kilograms off of the piece of clay due to external factors like how I've just been disciplined in my daily routine and stuff. Yeah, my final note was I feel like my trading has been very mature recently, right? I feel like days like today and yesterday, because yesterday I took no trade, today I took no trade, Monday I took a trade which I had high conviction in because of my data saying that it was a valid trade, so I took it and I was totally fine with the loss. And I genuinely don't feel worried about the fact that I'm now 2.5% in drawdown on phase 2. So I took a loss last Friday. So my 9% week ended up being an 8% week. And I took a valid loss on Monday, and both on phase 2, right? So Friday I'd already passed phase 1, and obviously now I'm just trading on phase 2. I'm not rushing things. I don't have a deadline. I don't care when I'm going to pass the account. The only thing that I'm trying to do right now is to every single day just keep executing my edge and keep sticking to my plan, and that is, I believe, going to be the fastest way for me to pass this account. If I am going to pass it, there's a high chance, based off my 2 years of being unprofitable, that I'm going to blow this account and that just this account is not going to work out, and I'll have to continue trading to get profitable. But yeah, I guess this is my key point for you guys today. Like, if you're in that spot, which I was like a couple months ago, where you just keep breaking your plan and you don't understand why you keep breaking your plan, then my number one suggestion is for you to really start back testing, forward testing, and like, this is the most important part, journaling that really, really solidly. And I mean journaling that in a way where, I don't know, whatever confluences you have in your trading plan, let's say you only trade when the 4 hours bullish or something, you only do longs when the 4 hours bullish, you need to be able to filter through the data. So you need to be able to click on a button that says 4 hours bullish on all of these trades. And you can set that up with Notion, fairly simple, and it's just super important. So yeah, I guess this is just me trying to give you guys a shortcut. Like, just get the data so that you stick to the plan. And honestly, like, you shouldn't even really have a plan until you have the data, because what's the plan based off of? What's the plan based off of? You don't have data, so how do you know what works or what doesn't work? Even if you're in a trading group and you have your mentor telling you this is what you should be doing and stuff, like, until you have the data, you don't have a plan. So collect the data for yourself and then figure shit out for yourself. And it doesn't take that long. Like, in the last 2 months, I've really created this monster of a journal on Notion. I have like a bunch of databases where I track like sleep, trades, if I've done like the daily routine things that I have to do, how I was before my session, what my anticipation of price was before the session, if it was a valid trading day, if I executed the valid trade, like I give myself a score at the end of each trading session, the weekly market breakdowns, the weekly reviews, monthly reviews, etc, etc, etc. Yeah, the final note is just going to be like, it's a 99% failure rate, act like the 1%, bro, or else you are never going to get into that 1%. And this is coming from, I consider myself an unprofitable trader that has locked in his space into profitability because of what I'm doing, right? Because of how I'm operating currently. And as I've said in a couple previous videos, there are two different types of unprofitable traders. The unprofitable traders that are not going anywhere because they're not journaling, they're not collecting their data, etc. And then you have the unprofitable traders that are doing all of that and that are basically assuring their spot into profitability. I'm just going to end the video here, 10-minute. If you're breaking your plan, collect your data. See you in the next one.